Do you ever feel depressed when you finished a vacation and went back to your old daily routine? Like you feel even more depressed, sad and stressed than you were before going on the vacation during the next couple of weeks after your arrival? Yep, we are talking about that. Let's have a look. Going on a vacation and breaking the daily routine has so many well-known benefits for your physical and mental health. For instance, holidays do not only make people rest, but also make them to explore new places and have new experiences. Therefore, it satisfies the feeling of wonder. Since there is a constant stimulation in our brain during the vacation, our time perception, which is lost during our routine, is able to restore. We are able to find ourselves in the present time, so we can return to our inner world since there isn't a constant expectation of us from the outer world. Even if you only have 10 days off within 1 year in your workplace, that off days reduce the depression amount among the workers about 30%. That is not a little amount. Nevertheless, the recent trend of working constantly, which is called hustle, clean out the vacation concept. If you listen to these groups in social media regarding themselves as workaholic, if you are not a millionaire yet on a vacation anyway, you are a pathetic life form who does not deserve to exist. The system we live in and various cults in social media that sprout out almost every day take away our individual freedom from us more aggressively and replace it with the obsession of constant working instead. We don't know to what point this will continue. Yet there is the fact that the positive effects of going on holidays does not last forever. Studies show that the general feeling of happiness and peace experienced during the holiday disappear almost within a few days after the holiday is over. So if you feel lonely and depressed after a short time you returned from the vacation, you are not alone. Though it is arguable that if this feeling is a result of the inactiveness of the holidays or our daily lives being so busy and overwhelming. No matter which of these is true, it does not mean that holidays are meaningless just because the joy it brings does not last forever. So we sleep and rest every day even though we would get tired again just a couple of hours later. We don't skip sleeping saying, I will be tired anyway, so what's the point? This feeling of depression and anxiety after the holiday does not diagnose officially as a psychological disorder yet, so it is not in the catalogs of illnesses like DSM-5 or ICD-11. However, independent health organizations like National Psychological Association for Psychoanalysis in United States of America states that the depression felt after the holidays stems from the absurd expectations we have of the holidays. We overwhelmed so much during the year that our expectations of the upcoming holiday might reach to absurd amounts. When we fail to fulfill these expectations, we feel uncomfortable and deficient, especially when we think that the holiday is now over and we have to work again for months. That feeling of being trapped manifests itself as depression and anxiety. It is so heartbreaking that so many people have to go to the jobs they hate or at least that they don't enjoy, isn't it? Approximately 60% of people experience post-holiday depression. The experts who want to see the amount of the post-holiday depression researched how the amount of the psychological disorders, depression, suicide or self-harming behaviors changed. According to their discovery, something so special happens during holiday time. The amount of applying to emergency ward for psychological reasons, suicides and self-harming behaviors decrease. However, after holidays, these negative behaviors reach to an excessive amount and reduce back to normal after a while. So when we say post-holiday depression seems to be that amount that reaches to excessive numbers than normal for a time period. These symptoms manifest themselves as a decrease in energy level or even concentration ability in certain times and difficulty to fall asleep like they do in major depression in the seasonal pattern. Interestingly, one of the main reasons of this feeling is the increase in the amount of money we spend on holidays. We tend to make risky decisions during vacations. However, when we realize that how we throw money around after the holiday, it is likely to experience psychological problems. Besides, since the holidays are much funnier than our daily routine, we might feel as empty, bored, or lost thereafter. One of the factors affecting that is feeding behaviors which change during holiday playtime. Consuming more alcohol and fast food creates a temporary and low-level addiction for the foods with higher calories. When you leave this short-time habit and unable to reach these substances, your body experiences almost a kind of low-level withdrawal syndrome. If you experience these kinds of problems, there are some things you can do. For instance, exercising might be helpful to increase your level of happiness since it makes you release endorphin. Even when you struggle with work or school, going to closer places to your city like forests or natural living environments for the weekend might benefit your general health. Of course, in order to be able to do this, it is necessary for those places to be protected. In addition, getting enough sleep is important to keep your hormonal balance steady. The cultural or cult of constant working we mentioned earlier put a pressure on people to minimize the sleep. Yet, this is a horrible advice. There are studies show that the people who get 6 hours sleep a day regularly might have lower cognitive skills even than the people who hasn't been sleeping for 2 days. The vast majority of the most successful and rich people get 7 to 9 hours sleep a day. And this is not a new habit because when you don't get the sleep you have to, your overall performance decreases during the day. Hence you become less successful. Finally, try to stop the holidays as being the only time that breaks your daily routine and make you rest. During weekends or if you work at them as well, during weekdays or evenings, even it makes you delay your exams, homework, or your duties in the workplace, keep time for yourselves. Watch a movie, spend time with your family, keep time to chat with your friends, take a walk with your loved ones. Don't forget, at the end of the day, if you are not healthy, it is not possible for your work to be healthy as well. The main reason we are telling you this is following. Especially during hard times like this in the world, in which we struggle with some social and economical difficulties, the first thing people expand without batting an eye is their psychological health, because the effects of these losses do not manifest themselves instantly. Even worse, people think that they could cope with them more easily than they do with physical illnesses. That is not true. Unfortunately, all of us spend our years with expectation that will never end, like let me do this too and then I will relax. If that happens, then all of my problems will disappear and the like. Sometimes those expectations do end up with success. Those tweet stories of success shown in the social media are selective ones. Do not misunderstand. If you are keen and hardworking enough, you will be successful eventually. And don't forget, as saying being successful, we are not talking about getting rich. Success is a different thing for each individual, but at what cost? You need to always ask this to yourself. If being successful means you lose your psychological or even physical health, your being alone or losing your family, is it possible to say that you are successful in real terms?